Hi everyone, this is Kelly from The Truth and Story, and I am here today because it is October 1st, and as anybody who has followed my channel for very long knows, the month of October is Embrace the Magical month in the world. Well, at least in my world. And so this is the 4th year that we've done it, and it started with the concept of just embracing the magic that is all around us, right? We do spend a lot of times on very serious topics, right? We're working with tarot, we're working with runes, we're working with oghams, we're working with oracle decks, we're working with astrology, we're working with all kinds of stuff. We're mapping out our life's purpose. We're figuring out where we need to heal things and where those things need to progress forward. We're just looking at a lot of important and weighty things. And as a professional tarot reader, many people, when they are getting a reading, now not all, people do come to get readings for all reasons, but there's a lot of times in which people are coming to the cards or going to a reader because things are difficult. There are life stressors that need to be sorted through. There are weighty questions to be asked and things of this nature. And that's good that those resources are all here. But October is about not forgetting the magic that's all around us, to spend some time really diving into the joy and the magic that is everywhere around us in what we do. And so that was sort of the purpose of the Embrace the Magical, is what it's hashtag Embrace the Magical 4 years ago. So this is our 4th year doing it. I say our. My friend Patrick used to have a channel on YouTube, and so sometimes we would do it together. But it's our as a community. We really have had, I think, a lot of fun with it. It culminates in a big 12-hour chat, and we have quite a few people who have made every single hour of every single 12-hour chat, which is just crazy, right? So it's our thing, at least in this little corner of the community around here, right? So the concept this month is each week I am taking a different theme about embracing the magic, right? And so I'm going to have a spread at the beginning of the week. I'm going to have a deck or 2 or 3 that I'm going to work with that week and do daily draw pulls from there as well. Some years we've had the everyday words challenge. This time I'm going to do more of here's the week, a spread to do that week. So if somebody just wants to do four times throughout the month, that's less stress there, right? Other people are probably going to be like me and pick a deck or 2 or 3 and pull from that deck every day of that corresponding week. It's not supposed to be something stressful. It's just supposed to be something fun. If you post your polls or your decks or anything on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, please use the hashtag Embrace the Magical, because it lets all of us find each other's posts. And that is, for me, a lot of fun, as well as I know for other people. So the first week, now all of the weeks are in, if you're watching on YouTube, it's in the community tab. If you go to my YouTube channel, there's a community tab, and it allows people to put posts there. And this allows, which is fantastic, because it allows that there are some people who are just on YouTube. They don't want to use Instagram. They don't want to use Facebook. So the 4 weeks notification is already up there with what the four weeks are. The first week is Embrace the Magic of the Cosmos, the stars, astrology, the heavens, the above, right? The second week is Embrace the Magic of the World. This is the below, earth, the nature around us, the world that is around us, physically around us. The third week is we use that as above and that as below in the course of all of the joys of divination. And that was kind of the purpose or the heart of this, is that we can be really serious and learn and study all of these divination things, but we also want to embrace the joy of divination. And so that will be the third week. And then the fourth week will be embrace the joy of magic. This is falling into, so leading up to Halloween. This is enjoying all of the wonderful kitschy stuff that centers around magic and Halloween and all of that. So those are the 4 weeks. This week, so it's October 1st, so the first week here is going to be Embrace the Magic of the Cosmos. The 3 decks that I've chosen to work with this week, my friend Patrick has a deck called the Living Wheel Astrology cards, and I'm going to be using these to put out every day what's going on in the heavens, what's going now. You don't have to have a deck to do this. I'm going to show a couple different ways that you can embrace this area, but so you may have an astrology oracle deck, or there's a couple different decks out there with astrology themes where you might do what I do and use an app. So I use an app called Time Passages. Let me pull it up here. And I'm going to go here just so it doesn't show all my information. It's called Time Passages, and of course I have all my chart information in there, and I can go to my daily horoscope and see that, say for today, my sun is in Libra because this is my birth month, which is exciting, and so the sun is in Libra, and I am a Libran. It is in Libra in the 3rd house, so I have the sun that's in Libra in the 3rd house, and then it gives you some idea of what that might do or what that might mean for you. A lot of information is going to be available for me, a lot of thought processes emphasized. Please, I'm a Libra, that happens all the time. However, I might benefit from extra energy in my strength, the suit of my strength, right? And it's in the 3rd house of communication, knowledge gaining, and things of that nature. So a lot of energy is around me to soak up information, to communicate information, and those types of things, right? So I can look at that. I'm also looking at the moon. So the moon, my moon is in Scorpio in the 4th house, which is the house of family. And so again, it tells me a little bit here that says, okay, for a couple days, my emotions are going to be pretty deep, and I may be getting overlapping emotions of other people, and I need to stick close to home and family right now, which is interesting because, you know, it makes sense with some things that are going on today, this morning when I sat down to do this. So my moon, and it's also because Patrick's deck, the Living Wheel, has the different moon phases. It's a sliver because we just had the new moon on Saturday, but it is a waxing crescent moon, very sliver of it, in Scorpio in the, oh, I have the wrong house here. This is why you double check things. That's okay. That's okay. It's early morning, and I woke up extra early, so I'm just going to zip through here. I made the mistake. I usually keep these in order because I don't use this as a oracle deck. I use it to represent what's up above, and today I was working with this and getting things set, and it was in my hand, and I just started to shuffle it because if something is a deck and it's in my hand, I'm gonna shuffle it. So I'm looking here for the 4th house, which may be up on my table. Let's see, do I have a card in here? So I don't like them to get out of order. That's okay. I'm gonna just stick them in piles as I go here. These are moons, signs. So it has moons and signs. I have a walkthrough up of this on my channel too. Oh, here it is, 4. So there we go, 4th house, 4th house. So it has signs, and it has the moon phases, it has the planets like the sun, obviously. Oops, has a south node because I asked for it. It has Chiron because I asked for it. It's beautiful planets. It's stunning. And again, I do have a walkthrough of this up. It also has the seasonal cards. So it is the autumn equinox season right now, and that's the seasonal card. So that's going on seasonally. but I'm looking at these 3 areas. So Chiron is they call it the wounded healer, right? The idea is that this is sometimes where your largest hurts have been, that when you heal those, when you do the work of healing, they can become your biggest strength and your biggest resource to kind of send that healing outwards to others. So I took a look at Chiron. Chiron stays for quite a while. Let me pull this back up here again so you can see. So my Chiron is in Aries in the 9th house, and Chiron stays, each of the planets and the different astrological bodies stay in things for different time periods, and Chiron is going to be staying here for a while, but this indicates talking about struggles with my mental process, which is of course my strength, but having to struggle through some things that has to do with re-examining things and transforming, and that is going to push me towards a higher and more spiritual concept of my life's direction. I'm just kind of giving you the blurb here. So you can use an app. I love Time Passages. I use this for my birth charts and things like that. The app itself is not cheap. I believe this app is $30. But it is, in my opinion, if astrology is something that you're working with all of the time, and you have a Mac product, an Apple or an iPad or a Mac computer, there aren't as many software options out there, and so for software, Time Passages was one of the only ones that I could use. And so then I, of course, got the app for it. But there are lots of astrology softwares out there. There are places that you can go on the web and put in your information and get that for free. So I will try to put some links in the description box below so that you can find those, so that you can look some things up. Excuse me, my throat's a little yucky today. So the decks that I'm going to be working with this week, yes, there are decks, and that's okay. I wasn't sure how I was going to pick these. I do have a lot of decks, but I have couple cubicles that are my favorite decks, and so I decided I really wanted to pull from each of these themes from my favorites, so I could use more of my favorite decks. And so as I was looking through my tarot decks, I decided to use the Prisma Visions Tarot because it's dark blues. It feels like the night sky. There's lots of stars, moon. It just is beautiful, starry nights and beautiful swaths of color, beautiful silver edges. And so this to me felt like embracing the magic of the cosmos. So I'm using that deck. I'm also, of course, using, again, the Living Wheel astrology cards to, place out every day this week, or the first week of October, place out what's going on in the sky above. And then as an oracle deck, this is one of my favorite oracle decks called the Cosmic Reading Cards. And again, it has a very cosmic feel to it, and this is one of my favorite decks. Favorite oracle decks. So that's the oracle deck that I'm going to be using this week. So those are the decks that I'm going to be using. As for a reading, so we have the sun here, we have the moon here, and we have Chiron. And so for the reading, I'm going to show you another way to do this as well. I'm going to do an as above, so below reading, right? So we need some information here on Earth to pull in the information that we have from the cosmos. Now, you can choose to do what I did and pull what's going on right now. My sun, so this is my sense of self, my sense of who I am, is in Libra. I am fully in swing of my strength, right? I'm in my sign, in my birth sign, and it's in the 3rd house, and it's a house of knowledge and communication, right? So I'm like in my personal zone here in terms of self. Moon in Scorpio in the 4th house, again, maybe feeling a lot of feels. So this internal self that the moon represents, the internal power, the internal emotional energy, what's going on here is maybe a little heightened, maybe a little bit feeling a lot. Yes. Number 1, yes. So that's going on here. And I'm going to pull a tarot card for each of these areas. Chiron is, again, where is an area that needs healing, and how could I today, with these energies at play, how could I move a little bit further forward in terms of healing, in terms of a reevaluation, and moving more towards my higher path. So, so if you have astrology cards, if you're into astrology, you can simply write these things out and then pull a tarot card for your sun, which is your selfhood, right? Your moon, that internal self, that internal landscape there. And then Chiron, so where you might need to do your most healing. And you could just write those things out, what's going on, write a little blurb about what's happening, and then pull 3 tarot cards. So that's one way that you could do this, and I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So for my sun self, I have the Lover's card. This is an excellent time for me to, so the Lover's card for me is about making decisions that are completely in alignment with myself. So choices and decisions that I make have long-term ramifications. They, it used to be the lovers, maybe people getting married. It's a long-term commitment here. It's this idea of making big decisions that are going to impact out further. And so to be careful that those things are in alignment. And this is a good time to work out those decisions, because my mind, my sense of self and who I am is in its strength, right? And so this might be a great time for me to analyze some of those choices that I need to make and work through those. For the moon section, which is going to be right here, we have the 9 of Cups, which is the wish card. This is really beautiful. Again, especially going into feeling feels and feeling that need to really connect to family and this type of thing. Present and not present physically, and really the wishes and the things that I feel, the things that I want, that makes sense to me. Enough said, I'll analyze that myself, right? This makes sense, and my niece is getting married, so there's lots of family things going on right now. There's missing of family, whenever there's big events, I miss my son. He's not here. He loved Rebecca. They're just a couple months apart. They were, always together their whole lives. And so, him not being there is a sadness. But there's also a lot of family joy too. So just a lot of feels that are going on. A lot of hopes and wishes for my niece and her new life that she's going into this weekend. So lots of things. It makes sense to me. My point is, it makes sense. And then how could I move forward even just a smidge on this work of transformation, this work of examining things and continuing to move forward. Oops, I wanted to pull from the bottom of the deck here. And here we have the 8 of Wands. So there are going to be opportunities for me to examine and work through things, and it has been. September has been a lot of re-examination and a lot of moving forward. And so going into October, I do feel the energy of movement, because I've done a lot of that re-examination. And of course, 8 of Wands is that heavy movement and growing, and snatch on to this opportunity for an opportunity of growth, an opportunity to heal just a little bit more and move a little bit further down the road of my own personal path, right? And so I think that's really beautiful. It shows there's a lot of energy there for that. And I can definitely feel that. Okay, so this is, you know, one way to do this. Look at the sky as is and what that might tell you in the cosmos, and then pull a card, an oracle card, a tarot card, to be able to work with that energy. Now, not everybody's into astrology, and you don't have to be into astrology or have astrological decks or want to look at a chart to be able to tap into the understanding that the sun does influence who we are, the moon does influence us, that a lot of us follow the phases of the moon monthly and understand the impact and the connection that we have with that. We all understand sort of this need for healing so that we can continue to transform as I think we all want to do. And you don't have to do this in this way. So I'm going to show you the other way that this can be done. Okay, I wanted to take a quick picture of this because this is actually a reading for me. So I wanted to take a picture of that. I'm going to keep these together because I'm going to lay these out on my personal working space, so I can shift each of the things around each day as of the things that will be moving. So the other thing that you can do is just do a reading, right? So pulling 3 cards for, well, a couple of ways you could do that. You could just pull a card for what do you need to know about the energy of self? What is it that you need to know about the internal energies of the moon, your feelings, what you need to be aware of internally? So a little bit of that within here, without, with the sun. And then where is an aspect in which you might have movement forward towards healing in some way? Right? And then if you're a person who likes to use a second deck, you could pull a card for the above. So I'm going to use, in this case, the Cosmic Healing cards. Cosmic Reading cards. They are very healing. I love Miss Nari Anastasia and this deck. She has another deck that I love as well, the blue... I'm told Blue Messiah, I think, reading cards. And I sometimes mix them together, but I will say this is my absolute favorite. So you could pull an oracle deck for what, or another tarot deck for what is going on. I'm going to pull the middle though. For what's going on, what's the energy of the cosmos for you today? It's limitless. I should, you know, can we sing can we go Google Limitless? I don't know if that's not the name. It's not the name of the song. There's a song from Wicked where they're singing Limitless. Anyways, I love this, right? We have this abundance of energy that is around us from the cosmos, that is there, that is impacting us, that is supporting us, that it can be challenging, that we have to work with. But it's there. It's all around us. It's all around us, able to be used for energy to work on the things that we want to work on. So then I'm going to pull, like I did before, so you can pull a card for your sun. What is it that you need to know right now about the overall state of self, right? And then you can do that card. Okay, well, I went to stop this, like I finished the video and I went to stop it and it started the video, which tells me that I just talked a bunch and didn't record it. It's been one of those days. I had done the first part of the video up until now, and my mom had a little bit of a health scare. Perfectly fine, she's good, but I spent the day away from the house because of that. And so it is now evening, and clearly I need to just go be a vegetable for the moment on the table. I shouldn't be a vegetable on the table. I clearly need to be a vegetable on the couch because I can't even hit play. So I was just wrapping up with, yep, these are my decks. I have the reading spread already. I put it on Instagram and I put it on Facebook, and so I'll put that up in the community tab as this goes up. But as I was saying, we have, and you don't need to. In fact, it was so funny because when I pulled the card, of course now it's not going to be here because I stuck it. But when I pulled the card and said, you don't need to use 2 decks for this reading. You can just pull another tarot card or another, 4 oracle cards. The card that I pulled was the star card, but I'm sure it's stuck in the middle when I put the deck together. But anyways, I'm like, you can just use a tarot card, and it was the star card for the cosmos, which was pretty cool. You don't need multiple decks. You know me, I like to use multiple decks. But you don't need to. And so in this case, instead of doing all of that as above, like I am going to do with the living wheel, showing what's above actually in the energy of the planets above, you can do this with cards. And again, pull a card for what is the energy that's there to help from the cosmos. The card for that represents the sun and the self and where things are here. I loved, again, the Ace of Pentacles, this idea of opening and going into this door and this potential that is there. And with this card, we're talking about limitless potential that is there in working with self. For the Moon card, this position represents that internal space. What do I need to know right now about the internal space? And I loved that it was also the Page of Pentacles, because with stepping through this door outwardly, there is this inner potential, right, of learning something new that is going to affect the outer world, because this is the Pentacle suit, the suit for Earth. So in the work that we might be doing on the inside, in that Moon energy layer, that has the potential to allow us to learn something new in the physical world as well. And then the last position is Chiron, which is again where we may need the most healing. When we do that, when we do have those moments of healing, can also provide the greatest degree of strength and the ability to then push outwardly towards healing. And I love that the Six of Swords was here, because this literally shows that the work that you do to heal is what is going to pave the way for moving forward to a better space that the Six of Swords represents. So this is how you might do this reading for yourself, with either a single deck of cards or with 2 different kinds of cards, 2 different decks if you want, whatever works for you. So I'm really looking forward to working with these decks. Again, I will be working with the Cosmic Reading cards for Oracle, as well as the Living Wheel Astrology cards for the astrological component that I'll be working with. And then I will also be working with the Prismavisions Tarot for this week, and I'll be doing pulls every day. And so I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope to see your spreads out there. I've already seen a couple of them throughout the day on Instagram, and I look forward to seeing what decks you're going to be using, and also the spreads that you have, and maybe the pulls that you do for the rest of the week. So welcome to October 1st, and embrace the magical for 2019. And I hope that you have a wonderful week embracing the magic of the cosmos.